each week. Kirtaniya Sada Hari. We are always at the name of Lord Sri Krishna. Okay. So that's what Mahaprabhu said. What is that? Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Harir Nama Iva Kevalam. Kalau Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatiranyata. So we are at the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna and the shelter of the holy name of Lord Sri Krishna. So with that regard, we're going to start a new chapter today, Bhagavad Gita, third chapter. Is it right, Simeshwar Prabhu?
That's correct, Prabhu.
Okay. So we'll just go to the overview of first and second chapters, and we'll try to connect to the third chapter, how Krishna systematically presenting this knowledge to Arjuna. Okay, so the third chapter, basically the title is Karma Yoga. And this word is very, very familiar to most of us from Indian background. Karma Yoga, Karma Karo, Karma Karo, Karma Karo. But what kind of karma we are supposed to do, right? Karma has to be done. Karma Karo, to come out of karma is Karma Karo, right? To come out of karma, you have to do karma. That is what Karma Karo, to come out of karma. This chapter explains very clearly. And in the first chapter, and we all know that, it's a Vishadagada. Arjuna was coming with so many excuses not to fight the war. Because at that point, Arjuna didn't have, again, when I say Arjuna, don't take literally Arjuna. Arjuna is a devotee. Okay. Just Arjuna became instrumental, or Krishna put him in the Yogamaya potency to deliver Bhagavad Gita to you and me. So when I say Arjuna, don't literally take Arjuna is a non-devotee. No, Arjuna is a pure devotee of the Lord. But Krishna chose Arjuna qualified so that he can deliver Bhagavad Gita. So we should have that understanding very clearly, no matter what it is. We don't think, oh, Arjuna is bewildered, etc. All that is kind of a drama made by Lord Sri Krishna through Arjuna to preach Bhagavad Gita to you and me. Okay, so in the first chapter of Arjuna was totally bewildered after seeing the both side of armies, Bhishma Pitama, his relatives, kith and kin, and everybody, and finally he said, I don't want to fight this war. What's the use of fighting this war? And I don't want to fight. And he comes with so many excuses. I can beg, I can live on the beg arms, and I don't want to kill these people, because Arjuna has that compassion, love in the heart, and he's coming up with that. Whereas other side, Duryodhana and party, they're just waiting for the opportunity to kill and take the whole country. Right? That is the difference between a devotee and non-devotee. Compassion even for the enemies. That's why Vaishnava is called Paradukha Dukhi. Even what happens doesn't matter for me, but I want my friend would be safe. How many people have that qualities nowadays? So Arjuna is that compassion, love. He said, Krishna, I am not going to fight this fight. It's not worth it. It's not worth killing all my teachers, my grandfather, my cousins, etc., etc. This is the first chapter, full of sorrows. When you come to second chapter, Arjuna and Lord Sri Krishna gives the whole, what you call, the blueprint of Bhagavad Gita. That's why it's called Gita content summarized in second chapter. It talks about so many things, a huge chapter, second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We have about 72 or 74 slokas, is huge, very huge. And in that second chapter, Krishna explains very clearly difference between body and soul. Who are you? Are you the body or the soul? Okay. He explains about the characteristics of the soul. Okay, what is the nature of the soul? What is the size of the soul? Okay, and And the transmigration, everything falls in the second chapter. Prabhupada talks about transmigration of the soul, etc. And also Siddhira Muni, how he talks, how he walks. And all the concepts were very clearly explained in second chapter. Okay. And Sankhya philosophy, and little bit about Karma Yoga, but not in detail. So all these are explained very clearly in the second chapter. Okay. So what happens is, at that point, Arjuna gets it. Arjuna gets that you're not the body, you're the soul. Okay. With that understanding, in the third chapter, see, even at that point, Arjuna he got the message, okay, you are not this body or the soul, but he did not get the complete picture what he's supposed to do. That's why Krishna put this chapter, Bhagavad Gita, systematically. When you come to the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, okay, after hearing all those things, Krishna delivers one strong message, says that Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Arjuna, forget about everything I spoke so far in 18 chapters. Just follow this one shloka. Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Give up everything you learned so far. Just surrender to me, and Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Mamekam, he said, surrender unto me. Okay, all your sinful reactions will be eradicated. But to come to that level of surrender to Lord Sri Krishna, we have to go to systematic study of each and every chapter. Okay, so the main purpose of third chapter is Karma Yoga, right? And we are all familiar, especially from we तुम्हारा कर्म है, you ऐसे करेंगे, you cannot change your karma, which is not right. Bhagavad Gita is there to change your karma. Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu worship is to change your karma. You know that there are 5 topics Bhagavad Gita covers, right? Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma, right? And all other 4 things are Ishvara, Lord Sri Krishna, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala. Nobody can change these 4 things. Karma can be changed by taking up the devotional service practice to Lord Sri Krishna. So this is the chapter which explains what kind of karmas have to be performed. Okay, because what happens was when Arjuna got the message, you're not the body or the soul, that is like high level synopsis, he got it. But how to put that into practice? That is what Karma Yoga, this chapter, teaches. Okay. Now, the subject matter was very abstract. Okay, you're not this body or the soul. Okay, how to act based on that platform? So that is what this karma, this chapter explains very clearly. What kind of karmas have to be performed? How many types of karmas are there? Okay, and finally, what we are supposed to do. Okay, so what I will do is I will take up the first shloka from the first Bhagavad Gita 3.1. Okay, and this is the questions posed by Arjuna to Lord Sri Krishna. Are you guys able to hear me? Just one person confirm so that I have a confidence that I am speaking in the.
Yes, we can.
Okay,
yes.
thank you. So here, the third chapter, very clearly, Arjuna is asking this. So it's Arjuna Uvacha Jayasi Chet Karmanaste Mata Buddhir Janardana Tam Kim Karmani Ghore Mam Niyojayasi Keshava. Here, the translation was given. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. So Arjuna said, "O Janardana, O Keshav." Actually, why don't all of you recite shloka one time? Because that's the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. These are words coming from Lord Sri Krishna. Why can't we take opportunity to recite? Can all you repeat after me? Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna
Jayasi chet karmanaste
Nyatiteste karmanaste
Mata buddhirjanardana
mata
buddhi janardana
tam kim karmani ghore mam
kim kore mam
niyojayasi keshava.
niyojayasi keshava.
Translation by His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhakti Vedam Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Recap. Arjuna said,
Arjuna said,
O Janardana,
O Janardana,
Janardana
O Keshava,
O Keshava,
Keshava,
why do you want to engage me
why do
you want to engage me
in ghastly warfare?
this ghastly warfare?
If you think that intelligence is better than the fruity work.
If you think
that intelligence is better than the
fruitful
work.
work,
Okay, so we'll just go to the proper report and read proper. Here, basically what's happening is, in the second chapter, Lord explained knowledge is required. That is knowledge of the self. That's called Atma Jnana. And Atma Jnana finally got it, you're not the body or the soul. For that, he explained in so many shlokas, right? Now, and the nature of the soul, Nayanam Chindanti, it, and also Dehino Asmita Dehe, how the transmigration of the soul, etc., etc. So many shlokas given examples. Then subsequently, he said, you should fight. He gave the knowledge. That is an action. Action is fight. The first knowledge is spoken. You are not this body or the soul. Then action. Then Arjuna getting confused. Why I have to take an action? He says, Keshava, why do you ask me to engage in ghastly affair if you think intelligence is better than action? That is the first shloka explaining, asking question. So we'll just go to the purport because I love to go to purport. Prabhupada gives so many examples and he makes very clear about information. Okay, I'll read and we'll go through any important points in the purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, has very elaborately described the constitution of the soul in the previous chapter. And we all know that constitution of the soul. Jivere Swarupai Krishnera Nityada. That is the constitutional position of a living entity. With a view to delivering his friend, intimate friend Arjuna from the ocean of material grief. We know that Arjuna was totally in the grief, right? And the path of realization has been recommended, right? That is Buddhi Yoga or Krishna consciousness. The recommended path is Buddhi Yoga, Krishna consciousness. Sometimes Krishna consciousness is misunderstood to be inertia. And one with such a misunderstanding often withdraws to a secluded place to become fully Krishna conscious by chanting the holy name of Krishna. But without being trained in the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, it is not advisable to chant the holy name of Krishna in a secluded place where one may acquire only cheap adoration from the innocent public. Here, very strongly recommended that how important the association of the devotees. Okay, we think, hey, now I got my Harinam Diksha, I can just go somewhere, to Himalayas or somewhere remote places, I can chant. We cannot do that because we are living the material world. Material senses are so powerful. Anytime we can fall down. So that's why in the secluded place is not allowed. Hey, when you're chanting, chant in your room, but association of the devotee is very, very important. Okay. And here, where one may okay. Arjuna also thought of Krishna consciousness or Buddhi Yoga or intelligence in spiritual advancement knowledge, spiritual advancement of knowledge as something like determined from a life and practice of penance and austerity secluded. And Arjuna also misunderstood when Krishna explained, now I can do my sadhana, I can just sit in room, I don't have to do anything else, inert. I can just sit in the room, I can chant. You can do, but provided if the senses are under control, because in the material world, the senses are very, very, very powerful. Anytime, any desire can take away. We know the best examples from Bhagavatam, where the Katwanga Muni, etc. No, Saubhari Muni, right? Saubhari, what happened? He went to do the japa in the water, and he saw the the fish mating, then his mind was diverted and he had to marry 100 kanyas, etc., etc. There's so many examples. That's why the association of the devotees safeguards our life. And here, Arjuna also misunderstood that, okay, I can go to secular places. I don't have to do any action. That is not. Krishna consciousness means action. Okay, well, we all take that, okay, devotional service means what? Devotional service means dedication, not renunciation. Remember these words. It's only dedication. Dedication means you have to work. You have to do your dharma properly. When you got married, you have a wife, you have kids, you have to do proper things for them. I'm just giving an example that, I became an initiative devote, now I don't have to care for my wife, my kids, I can go to Himalayas. No, that's not the way. The devotional service means dedication to Krishna, not renunciation. Here, Arjuna thought it's renunciation. I got my knowledge from Lord Sri Krishna. I'm not this body, I'm the soul. I can go anywhere, I can chant. No, that's not right. In other words, he wanted to skillfully avoid the fighting by using Krishna consciousness as an excuse. So when Arjuna got the knowledge from Lord Sri Krishna, he thought of taking excuse. Okay, now I'm not this body, I'm not fighting. I can just sit and chant. But Krishna said, that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. You have to do your dharma. Okay. But this is Arjuna posing question to Krishna. He said, Arjuna said, Janardana, Keshava. But as a sincere student, he placed the matter before his master and questioned Krishna as to his best course of action. In answer, Lord Krishna elaborately explained Karma Yoga, or work in Krishna consciousness, in this chapter. So, Arjuna posed that question. Okay, what? I'm totally confused. You gave the knowledge about the body and the soul. Now you're asking me to fight. These two are contradicting each other. How can I do that? And Krishna makes very clear path here that Krishna consciousness means not inert, sitting in idle room. No, you have to do, you're a Kshatriya. Your dharma is to fight the war. Fight the war, but use the knowledge what is given to you. What is the knowledge? You're not this body. So you are working on that platform. You are not this body. You're working for Krishna. So in our day, because we are all grihasthas here, in our day-to-day activities also, remember one word, simple word, the bhakti means dedication, not renunciation. Okay, I don't want money, I don't want education, I don't want job. That is not Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not a poverty. Krishna consciousness means richness. I want to be rich, I want to serve Krishna with my richness. That's a beauty. When you go to temple also, I want to have nice clothes, nice ornaments, I want to serve Krishna. Krishna is not cheap. Krishna is not a beggar on something very cheap. He is a Bhagavan, has 6 opulences, 100%. He himself is so rich. How can he expect his devotees to be rich? No. The dedication has to be there, what we acquire. Okay. So that takes practice. That's why you need association of the devotees. So that is the first shloka. Arjuna putting question forward to Lord Sri Krishna. Okay. Let's go to the next shloka. In the next second shloka, just repeat after me shloka, please. Vyamisreneva vakyena
Vyamisena
buddhi mohayasi vame
buddhi mohamisame
tadekam vada nisitya
tadekam vadasitya
yena sreyoham apunyam.
sonam apanyam.
Okay, translation wise divine grace says Bhakti Vedanta Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Repeat after me. My intelligence is bewildered
My intelligence is bewildered
by your equivocal instructions.
by your equivocal instructions.
Therefore,
Or
please tell me decisively
Please tell me decisively
which will be most beneficial for me.
which will be most beneficial for me.
Here, basically, here, no, he's asking, that means your statements, words appear to be confusing. Actually, they are not confusing, but for Arjuna, who is a conditioned soul like you and me, appears to be confusing. Arjuna is very clear. Arjuna is very clear. He didn't say equivocally direct. And Arjuna also very careful. He didn't say equivocally directly. He said appears to be confusing, because Arjuna is very carefully playing very, very safe game here. But that means that he admits his inability to grasp. When he said, look at that, how beautifully Prabhupada writes, appears to be confusing. And here Arjuna is admitting his inability to grasp it. Like that, many of people in India, since ages, because of our inability to understand personality of Godhead, they said God has no form. God is Nirakar. So it is our inability to grasp, not to grasp this. So we should not be hastened by conclude that God has no form. No, because we are not able to understand. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Prabhupada, starting from Madhvacharya, a whole personal form of God into existence came. Until Shankaracharya, Advaita philosophy. There is God and you are one, he has no shape, etc. But starting from Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Nambarkar, and all they came with the Advaita philosophy, Dvaita philosophy. God and you are different, God has a form. So because of inability of understanding the God, that we don't think God has no form. In the same way here, Arjuna is saying that it appears to be confusing, okay, and he's admitting his inability and he's putting question to Krishna. My mind is bewildered. Arjuna is saying, Buddhi mohya yasi, means my mind is bewildered. So what he wants actually. Last loka he also said, why are you engaging me in the ghastly warfare? That means what? In Arjuna's heart, he is a devotee. He neither likes philosophy nor likes action. But Krishna here is putting other question here. So let's go to the purport and read what Prabhupada is explaining here about this one, okay? In the previous chapter, as a prelude to the Bhagavad Gita, many different paths were explained, such as Sankhya Yoga, Buddhi Yoga, control of the senses by intelligence, work without fruitive desire, and the position of the neophyte. This was all presented unsystematically. A more organized outline of the path would be necessary for action and understanding. Arjuna therefore wanted to clear up these apparently confusing matters so that any common man could accept them without misinterpretation. Although Krishna had no intention of confusing Arjuna by any jugglery of words, Arjuna could not follow the process of Krishna consciousness, either by inertia or by active service. So Arjuna could not get the message clearly, what Krishna consciousness means, because he gives a second chapter about full Atma Gyan, that's like a high level, like abstract level. But how to act, I am not this body soul, that is some action has to be there. The action, what action has to be done, explained in this chapter, right? And here, by his questions, he is clearing path of Krishna consciousness for all students who seriously wanted to understand the mystery of the Bhagavad Gita. So we all have the same doubts, okay, what Arjuna had. And the questions posed by Arjuna are beneficial to all of us, okay? Even, so many years of service, we still don't understand the clear understanding of Krishna consciousness, because we are grihasthas, we have desires for us, we have our own desires, we have Krishna desires, so we have two family desires, etc. So that's why it is recommended path for is like Varnasrama system. Varnasrama acharavato Purushena Paratmimana Vishnu Aradhyate. By following Varnasrama system, slowly, gradually we elevate to the path of Krishna consciousness. That's why we serve in the temple sometimes. Sometimes we don't want to serve in the temple because we have too many avocations or something, this and that takes priority. We are not there fully in Krishna consciousness as well. Arjuna is speaking very well. These questions put by Arjuna is valid for both, all of us basically. So student who seriously want to understand the mystery of Bhagavad Gita. I don't think we will never understand mystery of Bhagavad Gita because We are not there yet. We don't have capacity understanding Bhagavad Gita. Maybe if you understand a minutest part of Bhagavad Gita, our lives will be successful. So Arjuna is putting these questions. What needs to be done? Help me, Krishna. I am not clear. I am totally confused. Please give me the knowledge. Okay, this is about the second shloka. So, do we have time for next shloka, Sumishwar Prabhu? Or
Go ahead, Prabhuji. Yes,
Okay.
we do have.
Okay, next shloka. So these are the questions put forth by Arjuna. He's asking, he's not clear what I'm supposed to do, what I'm not supposed to do. Please tell me. He's begging from Krishna. Only when we have strong desire, Krishna responds. Okay. And Arjuna's desire was very honest, very clear. He wanted to know, tell me what I am supposed to do. He gave me all hyphendas. I didn't get it, Krishna. I want a simple layman terms. I am a gruhastha. I have a wife and kids. I want to practice my bhakti very simply. Please give me that message to me directly. Give me direct message. Okay, through karma yoga, because karma indriya, I have indriyas. My indriyas have to see. The whole problem is we all know that start from the mind. Mind is there, this and that will make indriyas. But when the mind is fed with proper knowledge, our senses comes under control. That's why we hear Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam every day, to bring our mind under control, because mind is a central hub for the desires, central hub location for the desires. When the mind is properly fed with the proper spiritual knowledge, then senses automatically get directed in the proper way. That is what Arjuna is asking. I have senses, I have indriyas, they are uncontrollable. That's why Bhakta Thakur, Sharira Vidya Jal, Jode Indriya Tahe Khav. These indriyas are the path of network for my destruction. Please, by taking Krishna Prasadam, will be purified. With asking what is the way I could get it. And also here, let's go to the third shloka. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri
Bhagavan Uvacha
Lokesmin Vividanishta
Lokesmin Didivanishta
Pura Prokta Mayanagha
Pura
Maya
Jnana Yogena Sankyanam
Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam
Karma Yogena Yoginam.
Karma Yogena Yogina.
Okay, translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
O sinless Arjuna,
O sinless Arjuna,
I have already explained that there are two classes of men.
I have already explained that there are two classes of men
who try to realize the self.
Who try to
realize the
realize the self.
Some are inclined to understand by it empirical,
some are inclined to understand by empirical,
philosophical speculation,
philosophical speculation,
and others by devotional service.
and others by devotional service.
So Arjuna making very clear, I already explained, it's telling there are two classes of people. And one is inclined to understand by empirical philosophical speculation. Okay, jnanis, usually jnanis. They wanted to understand everything by empirical philosophical speculation. Sitting in a room, reading literature, they keep on speculating. And others are by direct devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. Okay, so we'll go here. In the second chapter, verse 39, the Lord explained two kinds of procedures, namely Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga, or Buddhi Yoga. In this verse, the Lord explained the same more clearly. Sankhya Yoga, or the analytical study of the nature of spirit and matter, the subject matter for persons who are inclined to speculate and understand things by experimental knowledge and philosophy. Look at that. The jnanis, they wanted to experiment and So speculate, understand things by experimental knowledge and philosophy. Sometimes their whole life goes for experimental, but they conclude zero at the end of the life. And that's why, in our Shastra, Aroha Panta, Avaroha Panta. Aroha Panta means bottom-up approach. Avaroha Panta means top-down approach. In our software design cycles, we have same thing, right? Bottom-up approach, top-down. In our software industry, bottom-up is recommended, which is false. Actually, our Shastras, top-down is recommended because the knowledge comes from the top and higher conduits passes the information so that we get. That is our Guru Parampara system comes into the picture. How the message from Lord Sri Krishna, Brahma, Narada Muni, Sukadeva Goswami, Suta Goswami, you take the distributed succession, how the knowledge comes. That is the knowledge because we don't have time to experiment. Our lives are not enough to experiment things. But here, the Gyan is people, they wanted to understand and speculate the knowledge and experiment and knowledge and philosophy. The other class of men work in Krishna consciousness, as it explained in the 61st verse of the second chapter. The Lord has explained also in the 39th verse that by working by the principles of Buddhi Yoga or Krishna consciousness, one can be relieved from the bonds of action. Look at that, how beautiful Prabhupada writes. By working by the principles of Buddhi Yoga or Krishna consciousness, one can be relieved from the bonds of action. The whole problem of this coming back and forth is action. Action without Krishna, that is what causing us to come back again and again, punarapi jananam, punarapi jananam, because of karmic reactions. But one who takes Buddhi Yoga or Krishna consciousness, one can relieve from the bonds of action. And furthermore, there is no flaw in the process. The same principle is more clearly explained in the 61st verse. That is, the Buddhi Yoga is to depend entirely on the Supreme, or more specifically on Krishna. And in this way, all the senses can be brought under control very easily. Rupa Goswami says, how defines, what is the definition of the devotional service? Engaging your senses for the Supreme Lord. Rishikeshena, Rishikesevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Because when you satisfy Krishna's senses, your senses automatically get satisfied. Why? Because you're part and parcel of Lord Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna is the superset, we are the subset. When the superset is satisfied, all the subsets in the superset automatically get satisfied. We are the subset of Lord Sri Krishna. We are the part and parcel of Lord Sri Krishna. Therefore, devotional service is the best way to satisfy. Therefore, both the yogas are independent as religion and philosophy. Religion without philosophy is sentiment. Prabhupada writes very clearly. Religion without philosophy is sentiment. People, religion, I don't want to, but certain people, they go and they, in the name of religion, they do a lot of nasty things. Religion without philosophy, with the sentiment, they go with sentiment. They do, our religion told like this, like that. But no religion will teach you bad things, but people just go with the sentiment. That's why religion without philosophy is a sentiment. Sometimes fanatism, we have a lot of fanatic people. While philosophy without religion is a mental speculation. Philosophy you have, but you have no religion. What happens? That becomes purely mental. You sit in the room, you have a philosophy, and you keep on speculating. That becomes mental speculation. Neither of them is good. The ultimate goal is Krishna, because the philosophers who are also sincerely searching after the absolute truth come in the end to Krishna consciousness. Beautifully explained. Everybody, now a lot of people when they're young, 20s, 25, they can do, we don't need God, I can do everything. It's happening because of me. I got this because of my hard work. This one, we people, when they come and they get married, they lose 50% of independence. So, oh my gosh, what I did, why I get married. Okay, after 10 years of the life, you lose everything. Everything. And you got 50s, you have nothing in your life, then God comes into picture. This happens to 90% of the population. First, they think they are the controllers. Then when they get married, the 50% control is gone. When you cross 50, 100% control is gone. Then you come to Krishna. It happens to most of it. It's also said in Bhagavad Gita, the whole process is to understand the real position of the self in relation to the super self. Whole Bhagavad Gita is teaching about what? Jiva and Paramatma, Anu and Vibhu. Okay. The indirect process in philosophical speculation by which gradually one may come to the point of Krishna consciousness. And the other process is directly connecting everything with Krishna. Look at that. The person who is speculating or jnana yogi, he is doing jnana, but finally he can keep on speculating. We don't know when that person comes to Krishna consciousness. The best way is to direct process of attending, to taking up Krishna consciousness, engaging your senses to Krishna. Okay, and here Prabhupada writing, one may come, okay, by which gradually, so the philosophers, some of them may turn into devotees, some of them may not, because a gradual process for them. They may take some more lifetimes to come. But a person who is directly involved in Krishna consciousness is directly in touch with Krishna. Of these two, Prabhupada writes, of these two, the path of Krishna consciousness is better because it does not depend on purifying the senses by philosophical process. A lot of people sit in their room, they think, I can control my senses, do this, do that. Nothing doing. Unless you are involved in devotional service, your senses cannot become satisfied because you are part and parcel of Lord Sri Krishna. You have to satisfy his senses, your senses automatically get satisfied. There is a basic tenet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. The whole Jaiva Dharma book written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, written on the only one basic tenet, Jivere Swarupai Krishnera Nityadas. You are the part and parcel of Lord Sri Krishna. Your eternal duty is to serve Krishna. That is the perfect constitutional position of a living entity. Brahma also explains in the second canto very clearly. Forget about I. There is no I. I means you are in the illusion. You are in the illusion. Okay. So last Prabhupada writes, Krishna consciousness itself is a purifying process. Look at that. Krishna consciousness itself is a purifying process. And by the direct method of devotional service, it is simultaneously easy and sublime. Look at that. I was reading other day, Bhagavatam class. Just by taking the name of, the, what is that, 12th canto Bhagavatam, what is that? Kalir doshe nide rajan, asmin ek mahagun, kirtanadevasya krishnasya, mukta sangam paramam vrajet. Look at that. Kalir doshe, in this Kali Yuga, we are full of faults, folks, full of faults. You try to fix your problems, it's like a, in Bombay railway station, when you stand, people standing, one train goes, next train comes immediately, people again jump in, again next train comes in. Our life is like that. One problem is gone, immediately next is waiting for us. Okay? But only Kirtana Devasya Krishnasya, by just taking the name of Krishna, Mukta Sangam Paramurajit, we can achieve all success in our life. Okay? Regarding that quote, I just wanted to refer one Bhagavatam. I just read what Brahmaji is telling to his son Manu and his wife Shatarupa. I'll just read few lines so you all get the message. Translation. Brahma is saying, since you are my obedient son, he's telling to Manu, since you are my obedient son, I ask you to beget children qualified like yourself in the womb of your wife, rule the world in pursuance of the principles of devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus worship the Lord by performance of yajna. Brahma is telling to his son, Manu, and Shatarupa, his wife, to produce children, but engage them in the devotional service. That is the perfection. And also, in this sloka, Prabhupada writes very clearly that the other sons of Brahma, the Kumaras, directly engaged in devotional service, and they had no need to execute principles of Varnashrama Dharma. That's a different matter anyway. So what I'm coming here is that even Lord Brahma is the first living entity, first son of Lord Sri Krishna. Okay, he is also, end of the day, after Brahma Vimochan Lila, he came to the conclusion, nothing working for me except Lord Sri Krishna. Okay, so that is the ultimate point here. First two shlokas, Arjuna got bewildered, confused. Now Krishna gave a gist of it. Hey, there are two types of people, okay? And where jnanis, with a mental speculation, they want to explore. That's called Aroha Panta, from bottom-up approach, which may work, which may not work. But devotional service, Avaroha Panta, means top-down approach, the message coming from Lord Sri Krishna with Guru Parampara system, that's a perfect knowledge. We have to follow that. That is defines a devotional practice, which is called Krishna consciousness. So this is the conclusion of the third one. Okay, so I'll stop here, and I would like to take any or reflections or any criticism or whatever. Please welcome. Thank you. Please speak up, folks. Please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. I just have a question on karma. At the beginning of the class, you said that you can change your karma, but at the same time, when we are suffering, they say that, oh, it's your karma, you have to suffer. There's no way out,
Yes. Yeah,
So
sure.
I'm confused here.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, the karma is not an easy topic. There are two types of karmas: prarabdha karma, aprarabdha karma. Okay. For example, prarabdha karma is already manifested. Okay, it means I can give example. Somebody, we have a wife, we have a kids. You cannot change being an Indian. Okay, it's different for Americans. Okay, but you can have different ways. But I'm just talking in general. Your wife and kids. Can you change your kids now? I'm just giving not two. We cannot change our kids. They are given. That karma is manifested. Prarabdha karma is manifested. And we can change aprarabdha karma, which is not yet manifested, which is about to come, that you can change by following Vishnu Bhakti.
For
And
instance,
sorry, go ahead.
For instance, what is about to come? Can you give some
I can give
examples?
example. For example, again, I don't want to, not you, when I say you means I'm just in general. For example,
Yeah, I understand.
I am a murderer in my previous life. I'm just giving example.
Okay.
And I have to suffer for that reaction maybe in the future. That karma has not hit me yet. See, the karma also hitting is given by example. For example, I'll give examples. Seeds, methi seeds, karela seeds, mango seeds, and other seeds. If you put all the seeds in the ground, different seeds will give trees and fruits in different times, right?
Yeah.
Same way, our karmas also, which we sow, they come as per, when they fructify, they come and bite us. Okay, some of them are already biting us, some of them yet to come and bite. Okay, whatever bitten, we cannot help them, but what are about to come, that effect can be minimized by taking bhakti. Krishna.
Understood. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Anyone else in the call? Hare Krishna. Anyone else in the call? Any reflections?
Hare Krishna, Govardhan Prabhu. Thank you. It was a wonderful class, Prabhu. Like the way you link everything. The flow was very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Something that you said struck a note with me very strongly about Brahmaji saying there is no I. And I'll just share with you and everybody my great-grandmother's realization. She was a Sardarni. Sardarni is the Sikhism. And very devout and deep level of realization. So my mother was telling me that she used to teach them as young kids, samskaras. And she used to say, that, child, ye main hai badi judai. Main badi judai hoti hai. So whenever, the more it's a yardstick, the more we think main, it's taking you further and further away from Krishna. So that thing which you are saying, Jivera Swarup Hoy, if you understand what that main is, then it brings you closer. Otherwise, just a regular understanding of main. Usme Judai means separation. So thank you for bringing that up. It kind of resonated with what my mother, I was talking with her a few days.
Thank you for sharing, Prabhu. Anyone else in the call? So you're all convinced that what Krishna's answer, right? So you're going to practice tomorrow, chanting and bhakti, that's it, nothing else.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandvat
Okay.
Pranam. Glory to Srila Prabhupada. So I really liked what Amritanand Prabhu said, and also like he summed up very nicely your class. I like the flow, how you summarized everything. Especially one thing which I'm going to take away from this class is I know about the Karma Yoga, but this one, where what you said is Krishna consciousness is dedication instead of renunciation. I really like that. So that I think that's going to stay with me, like the way you put it. That's all I wanted to share. Very nice.
That words from my Guru Maharaj, I don't want to.
It's beautiful. It is
credit,
really dedication, like it
Yeah.
is not renunciation because you have to do your prescribed duty.
Yeah, we know a lot of people devotees, so we want to be poor. No, we want to be rich. I want to be the richest. I want to serve Krishna at the same time.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And when you are saying this, like with our kids, it is because they are ambitious, they want to make money.
Yes.
Like my kids are growing up, like my son is,
Absolutely.
but I keep telling him, there's nothing wrong in it,
Yes.
but you have to, contribute to the temple and use the money for Krishna consciousness
Absolutely.
and all that. Yeah.
Absolutely. You can give more donations. If you become a
Yes.
doctor, you can give more money to Krishna. You can include that. Prabhupada never said no, and I don't want money. Prabhupada said, give me money. I want to
So
construct
that I can use it.
Yeah. And Prabhupada had 5 gold rings on the house. Yes, I want to be rich. Krishna is rich. I want to be rich. I want devotees to be rich. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
And I like it when you explain it from the point of grasta, because we all grastas, so it makes, feels like it is more applicable, everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You don't feel like you're isolated.
Right.
So, thank you, Prabhuji. Haribol.
Sameshwar Prabhu, if there's time for a question, I had a question to ask Govardhan Prabhu.
Yeah.
Do you have another class? Then we can do it on the Nityam Bhagavad Seva.
I have a Bhakti Rish at 8 o'clock.
Okay. No problem. No
before that.
No problem. I'll put it on the
They may join on the same call, same line. So,
WhatsApp.
yeah, same Zoom call.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Probably,
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
What's up? Yeah. That okay, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Okay.
No problem.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear devotees,
Prabhuji.
for joining. Wonderful class. Thank you, Govardhan Bhakta Prabhu, for a wonderful class. Thank you, everybody, for joining for this association. It's very important, as Prabhuji was mentioning. Association is very, very important, especially in this age of Kali. So there is no doubt into that. So I would humbly request all of you, please join any association, any Sangha we have. Morning we have Bhagavatam class, evening we have Bhagavad Gita class, and also Bhakti Risha is there. Apart from this, please join all of either. And also we have Bhagavatam class on Sunday, morning, evening, and other classes. It's wonderful to know, because of more we hear, then more we get the asakti to Krishna. We get more attached to Krishna. So we really need to attach to Krishna. That's our perfection. That's our success. So thank you all for joining. Let's pay our obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Vancha
Sasindhu eva patitanam
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
Vaishnavendra
Jai.
Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Govardhan Prabhu. for a
Hare
wonderful
Krishna.
class.
Thank you.
Hare
Thank you, Govardhan Bhakta Prabhu.
Nice class, Prabhu.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hare